Hey, welcome back. On this episode of Rich Does a Thing, we're going to go over how Jesse and I went to Long and Scott Farms to check out their giant corn maze. And you may be wondering, did we make it out? Did we have fun?
This is Sparta! Ah!
Well, certainly was a thing. Yeah, welcome back. So yeah, Jesse and I had a chance to go up to Mount Dora, Florida, to Long and Scott Farms to check out Scott's Maze Adventures. Something they do every year. They've been doing it for a long time, over a decade. It's this farm, and they grow corn, among other things, and so they put together this giant maze of stuffing corn. And every year they theme it. They have a giant maze, they have a small maze. They've built up other kind of mazes throughout the years. And you can visit their farm shop. Now they have like tractor rides, all sorts of things. I've been wanting to go for years. We finally got a chance to check it out. Now, we got a few pictures and a few other pieces of memories. One of the things, whenever you go, so this place is huge. This is an unreasonably large corn maze. There's a big one and there's a small one. Even the small one takes a little bit of time, but the big one, when you go in, when you pay your handful of bucks to go in, they hand you a flag on a pole, and that's basically, okay, if you go in and if you have just an incredible amount of trouble, if you quit, if you're tapping out, if you've fallen and you've broken your leg, if you have to go to the bathroom, if there's something that happens and you need out, you just hold up that flag, you wave it in the air, someone will come and collect you, and you will take the walk of shame out of the maze, however someone goes in and gets you. So luckily we did not have to do that, but it was a good time. When you show up, they also give you one of these. This is a wonderful kind of multi-page, all sorts of things. Now this year was actually dinosaur themed. So the actual maze itself was dinosaur shaped, which I will show you that here in a minute. But as you go in, and it says dinosaurs. And and they have some basic rules, some, do not smoke in the maze, do not run in the maze, do not break the ribbon. The walls of, the wall, you can pretty well tell where you're supposed to be walking and where you're not, but still, they put ribbon, and the ribbon's different colors. So as you progress through the maze, you can tell if you've actually taken a good turn, because you're like, oh, thank God, we're in the yellow zone now, we were in the blue. Do not cut through the corn, do not pick the corn, do not use foul language. So inside, they have a cool little, like a word game, where you can find words to answers of things, and they also have a spot where you can do rubbings. Now, unfortunately, ours isn't very well filled in, because when we went, it unfortunately started to kind of sprinkle, to kind of rain. Now, we had rain gear with us. We thought that might be a thing. But in order to do the rubbings, you have to place the paper on top of the pedestals that you find inside the maze, and you take your pencil and you give it a little bit of rub. That's how we got our crinkly paper. Now, that's how we got our Brachiosaurus friend. So we got that one. That was the first one we actually encountered, and then if you get all that stuff, so you name the fossilized tree product known to contain insects that fed on dinosaurs. Which is going to be amber, but that's just, because we cheat. You and I, we've seen Jurassic Park. So, but when the pedestal gets wet, we didn't want to put the paper on the wet pedestal, because then you don't get paper, you get mush. And the same type of thing, we took some pictures of some of the pedestals, so I'll show you some of those in a bit, but they give you little facts about different dinosaurs, and you can use those facts to fill out the words, and then there's circles, and then you take the letters from the circles, and you make the secret word, and it's actually really cool. Were it not for that rain, that would have been a really fun thing to get in, but, I shouldn't tell you about it. Why don't I tell you about it? So we are here inside the corn maze at Long and Scott Farms. This is actually proven to be more difficult than we originally anticipated. We have been at this, Jesse doesn't know this yet,
Oh, no.
We've been at this for over an hour and 40 minutes.
Wow.
Going
It's
through
been
this.
entertaining though.
It has been. So there's a lot of places that will mix you up. It's actually been really nice. It's been cloudy. We've got some birds around. Lots of places that will turn you around, and there's different map stations that you can then look at your map. So they give you these. They give you all sorts of things like these, word jumbles, things where you can do rubbings. Unfortunately, it was kind of sprinkling, so we couldn't do all the rubbings we wanted to. And the map is actually here underneath all these red spots. Yeah, exactly. But you can't really see it until you slide it in one of the map viewing stations. So that way you can kind of see a little bit of where you're going. For a while we were just kind of going as we could and just kind of find whatever, and oh, don't worry, we'll find another map station. But that didn't work out for like a while, so we ended up having to go back to the first map station we found and write a whole big series of directions to kind of help us through from piece by piece by piece. It's been an adventure, and it continues to be. Yeah, and we did get out, and it was a lot of fun. And so yeah, on the back, sure enough, as you may have seen when I showed you earlier, it's got the red stuff. And yeah, you can't, the map underneath is so light, so faint, that you can't see it with all that bright red over the top. So really, you can't read that map, you can't see that map. I will, however, do you the favor of showing you what the place looked like. So here, why don't I move over so that we can, yeah, right over that. So yeah, there's a map. Actually, you can kind of see the entrance to the entire maze was right there. So that's right behind the camera is where they hand you the flags and they make sure you're going inwards. Now, so you can kind of see the little tiny map going on the right hand side. Let's see if we can zoom in on that here. Yeah, there you go. So this is the version of the map that doesn't have the extra keys and stuff like that, but it gives you an idea of the scale of this whole thing. Now, there's a big part, the big rectangle, and then there's the small square at the bottom. The small square at the bottom, you don't actually go in as part of the big maze. That is actually not connected. That is the small maze. The small maze is cool. We didn't get a chance to go into it this time, but I have been in one of their small mazes before. In the small maze, you go in one way and you try to come out the other, and they have these 5 hidden, I don't know, the pedestal things in there with holes in them, and there's different color. It's kind of like a chalk, like a clay pot type of something, and the idea is when you go into the maze, you go and you find these, and when you find one, you take one of your fingers, you stick it in there, and you into the color, so then you've got like, a red finger of whatever color that you do, and then you find a different pedestal and you go, oh wait, this finger's already red, let's take a now that's your yellow finger, and whatever fingers you want for your did I say 4? I meant 5. So for your 5 fingers, and then once your hand is sufficiently colored, then you can exit the maze, and if you can, but it's a small maze, so you're fine. And then on the way out, there's a sign with pictures of hands that have different colors on the different hands, and it's supposed to be like a fortune-telling sign where you match up your hand of, okay, I've got the middle finger's blue, the pink is on the ring finger, and it'll give you your fortune, which is cute and fun. And we got so mazed out with the big one that we just decided that we would skip the small one. But oh boy, so yeah, you check out that big maze. It was a significant maze. As I told you before, we were in there quite a while. Let's see here. I think okay, so it took us 1 hour and 50 minutes to get through that maze. An hour and 50 minutes to get all the way through that. I mean, we had fun. There's plenty of, look how much fun we're having. We're all smiles and happy and good times. I mean, it did sprinkle a little bit. That's, see, you can tell we were having fun there. Jesse's a little, but no, we were having fun. And we did. We made it to the exit. See, there's an exit there. And towards the exit of this thing, they actually have a different version of the map. And then you can see all the different things that are in there. They actually show you where all the picture stations, the spots where you can do the rubbings, where the word stations are. They have their own colors and letters and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you really had that cheat sheet going in, you could go through, I suppose, again, they'd probably let you go in again and try to find your way through, but that way you could get all the rubbings. That's like completionist Pokemon right there. That's like when you complete the storyline, you're like, I need the Pokedex. I need to collect every single one. And everyone else is, I'm gonna go get a hot dog, okay? Like, we don't know. You let us know. If your battery dies, you live there now. You know, I have to admit, I was so tempted. I didn't think of this until like 2 days before, so I did not have time to go get one or have it shipped to me. But next time I want to be, I want to be the Minotaur in the corn maze. I want to get like Minotaur horns and just like hide them in my vest. I mean, you could see I had my vest full in that video. I looked like I was 400 pounds with my vest full of rain jacket and everything. But no, I would hide the horns in there, and then, you know, when I can imagine coming around the corner of someone else on the other side. What is going on? I am absurd. So yeah, there's lots of different fun things that you could see. You could see some of these. There's a bunch of whatever. There's just a whole bunch of these little signs and podiums and places where you can see the little etching spot where you do the rub, or you get your facts about the words and the dinos and stuff like that. And it was cool. It was fun. You go to the farm. They had all sorts of wonderful things, like giant swings, like chair swings you could swing on after you got out of the maze. Not in the maze. That'd be ridiculous. Giant chairs. You see the giant chair. We got to sit in giant chair over at Scott's Maze Adventures. They had other strange things, like they had a car, like a chalkboard car. Why not? Sure. I mean, anything is possible in farmland. And they also had a nice little spot where you could grab a bite to eat. And by bite to eat, I mean they had fresh lemonade. They had Jesse had a pulled pork sandwich. They had like boiled corn, grilled corn. I could have just laid a $20 bill on their counter and said, just continue to hand me grilled corn. I could have, and that would have made me really happy. I think the only thing that was keeping me from doing that is just the knowledge that eventually the weird farm people would start just kind of looking at me like, it could have been ridiculous. But yeah, we actually had a great time. It was a blast. We went through their shop afterwards, which every time I go through, you like to support them anyway. They have, bags of corn you can get. We got half a dozen ears of corn because that's about all we can go through reasonably. If you got a big family, you can get like a bag of a dozen ear or 2 dozen ears or whatever. They have all sorts of like preserves and jams and barbecue sauces and just anything you can think of. All sorts of other fresh produce. It was great. We came home with some tomatoes and some corn and some barbecue sauce, some Vidalia onion barbecue sauce, which actually sounds really good, and it was really good. So it was a great time. Highly recommend if you get a chance to be in Central Florida. They usually do it for about a 2-month span of sorts. So I want to say like late-ish September to like kind of through November, like maybe the beginning of December type of thing. And go check out the corn maze because it was a blast. It was much fun. So yeah, check us out. Speaking of check us out, of course, subscribe if you haven't right here on the YouTube. Check us out at Rich Does a Thing at Facebook, Instagram. I mean, pretty much any place you can think of. Patreon. Patreon, I've got a cool little update that I'm going to be sending out to the Patreon subscribers, which I'm excited about. And we will see you next time. So thank you for coming to hang out with us, and farewell.